And Pharaoh said, it is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Then he goes on to tell the dream. And in this now, I'm at 41 and 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream is one. God has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. So before God does anything, he tells the prophet. He puts forth, he lets someone know. Someone has seen this in a vision, in a dream, what God is getting ready to do. And he says, Pharaoh, God is showing you. God is getting ready to establish the thing that you've seen. Like the 28th verse, this is the thing which I've spoken to Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he has shown it unto Pharaoh. And he tells him of the dream, and he tells him the interpretation of the dream. Now, even after he did all this, Joseph still remained humble. He didn't get beside himself. He didn't say, I told you it was going to happen. This is what he said. I'm at verse 32. And for that, the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established. God is going to establish it. And God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man, discreet, wise, and set him over the land. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take him a fifth part. He goes on to tell him exactly what to do, so that nothing will be lost. Now this is Pharaoh's response back to Joseph. The 38th verse. And Pharaoh said unto him, his servants, can we find such one as this, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God has shown thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. The gift is now making room for Joseph. Just as if you obey God in the things and in the place he's placed you, it is going to bring you to the very place that God has promised you and showed you. I'm at 41 and 40. Thou shalt be over my house, and according to thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in a vesture of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bow the knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee, listen now how God has promoted him. I'm at 41 and 44. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee no man lift up his hand or his foot in all the land of Egypt. So God has blessed him and promoted him so that no one can lift a hand or a foot in the whole land of Egypt without Joseph say so. 45. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphat-Paneah, and he gave him a wife, Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. And Joseph went over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt. I'm telling you, church. And it goes on to the 50th verse. And Joseph were born 2 sons before the year of the famine came. The 51st verse. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For God has said, he has made me to forget all my toil and all of my father's house. God will bless you so much and so you will forget all the things you suffered and went through before you came to the place where he's established you and blessed you. The 52nd verse. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for God has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. So God came through. He did exactly what he said, and he established it. And it goes, because of the shortness of time, I'm going to paraphrase. it goes on to tell how Joseph went through, ruled the land, did everything God said he was going to do. And his family members, the very ones that sold him into the pit, God sent the famine through the land. And when the famine came, his father and his brother were in the land where the famine was. So they had to now go to Egypt. And when they got to Egypt, they found Joseph there. Although they thought he was there, they did not recognize him. And he came in, and just as he saw in the dream, his brothers came before him, and they bowed down before him. What God has shown you, it is going to come to pass exactly as God has told you and promised you in the fullness of time. And it goes on to talk about all the different things that he went through, but God used Joseph to bring them and to save them. And it goes on to talk about he finally rekindled the relationship with his brother. I'm going to read that part and we shall be done. I'm at 45 and 5. And this is now Joseph talking unto his brother. The same people that sold him into slavery, the same people that told his father he was dead. We all have a story. We all have things that we've gone through that we can tell of how we've been mistreated. But will you have a heart of forgiveness when God brings you out? This was Joseph's answer, 45 and 5. Now therefore, be not grieved nor angry with yourselves, that you sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life. For the 2 years has the famine been in the land, yet there are 5, in which there should neither be ear nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a prosperity in the earth, and to save your life by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And he's made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Haste ye, go up to my father and say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph, God has made me Lord over all of Egypt. Come down to me, tarry not. So at the end, exactly what God promised, exactly what God said, exactly how God said it, he brought it to pass. And in the end, Joseph was not bitter because he realized he was just an agent of God, bringing about the word of God to life. And through the actions of Joseph, the Hebrew, a promise that was made to his great-grandfather Abraham, now is coming to pass. The Hebrews are now going into Egypt. 400 years are going to pass. After that 400 years, they're going to come out with substance and great wealth. Sometimes we don't know how a prophecy or word of God is going to come to pass. But if God spoke it, God is going to bring it to pass. God is going to deliver. God is going to do everything he's promised what he's going to do. And I hope on today God has sent you a word to encourage you. I am the same God. The same yesterday, the same today, and the same tomorrow. I change not. So if I said it, if I promised it to you, if I showed it to you, it is going to come to pass. Do not be discouraged. Abraham couldn't understand, God, why? Are you going to send my children that I don't even have yet into the land for 400 years? And he goes on to tell them, because what the Amalekites have done, I must punish the Amalekites, people you don't even know, but I'm going to use you as the agent of doing that. There are some things God is going to use you to do. There are some changes God is going to use you to bring about that you know nothing of at this time. And even if God took the time to explain it unto you, we would not understand. We would not see it. So now all God is saying is, trust me, believe in me. It said the Old Testament was written as an example. If I did it then, I'm going to do it now. Just as Abraham trusted me, it was established unto him for righteousness. God is saying for us, trust me in this place you now find yourself. You may not see your way. You're struggling right now. You don't know when the next meal is coming from. You don't know how you're going to make it home today. But I came in faith. And I'm trusting you, God. In faith, I'm going to make it back. It may not be through the people I think it should be, but I know some way, somehow, I'm going to make it. And I'm going to be everything you promised me.